President Obama, either help Israel go after Iran or get out of the way. That's what we're going to talk about in the Lunch Alert today. Have you noticed in the last 2 weeks the Obama administration is doing everything it can, at the very least, to persuade Israel not to attack Iran, and most likely to lay the basis for opposing them if they do attack Iran? That's outrageous. Here the United States dragged its feet under the Bush and the Obama administration for year after year in imposing significant sanctions. You know when they first imposed really crippling sanctions on Iran? 4 weeks ago. And the only reason they did it was that Senator Kirk from Illinois, God bless him, he's fighting for his life in the hospital now, having had a stroke, forced him to do it. He passed a resolution in the Senate that the House also passed, demanding that he impose sanctions on the Iranian central bank, something he was too chicken to do before this. So now we finally have sanctions in place, and the Iranians are on the cusp of developing a bomb. They've said they're going to use it. They've said that they will destroy Israel, just like Hitler predicted the ovens in Mein Kampf, and Israel is supposed to sit back and wait for it to happen. Just delightful. And Israel has a deterrent. Yeah, well, these guys are suicide bombers. What do they care about a deterrent? 77 virgins and all that. So it is just outrageous, the administration's position. Now, Panetta, defense secretary, said if Israel attacked Iran, it would only buy them 1 or 2 years delay in Iran developing nuclear weapons. Yes, but 1 or 2 years delay is the answer to the whole problem. First of all, in 1 or 2 years, we get rid of you. Obama's out of office, and we get a good president in there who will be helpful to Israel and won't be standing in the way. Secondly, we just now have imposed crippling sanctions on them with the Iranian central bank. Now, in 5 or 6 months, which is the period we're likely talking about before Iran passes the point of no return on nuclear weapons, those sanctions won't have time to work. But over a year or 2 or 3 years, you bet they will. And they will probably overthrow the regime. The best way to stop Iran from going nuclear is to get rid of that regime. And crippling its economy, as we're doing now, is the best way to make sure that that possibly happens. And thirdly, it gives a new Republican administration time to deploy satellites in outer space, which have missiles that can intercept the Iranian missiles before they launch and hit Israel. And it will give them at least a capacity to defense against aerial attack. There still will be the danger of a terrorist bomb, but at least they can defend that. So a few years delay is absolutely vital. And if Israel needs to attack Iran to win that, we should be blessing them or stepping out of the way. Now, it's terrible after discussing such a horrible topic to inject a little humor here, but it is President's Week. And we wrote a book, Eileen and me, called Dubs Goes to Washington. And Dubs loses his tennis ball, our golden retriever, in Washington, and he hunts for it all over the city. And he goes to the Lincoln Memorial. And at the memorial for Abraham Lincoln, Dubs sat up and started thinking, if man from chains is meant to be free, take the silly leash off of me. So at each stage we have discussions of who the presidents were, what they did, and it's intended for children 4 to 8 years old. So get it for them for President's Day. It's on dickmorris.com or amazon.com. Dubs Goes to Washington.